What's up, guys? Frugal BC, Hedera price going up, which is the right direction, along with Sauce going the right direction as well. Good to see that. Meanwhile, we got a bunch of great news for you today. Hedera adding yet another governing council member. We'll take a look at who that is. Is healthcare the killer DApp for Hedera? You might have some interesting insights there. An investigation into the creators of Lehman token. We're going to look at what went wrong there. And we're going to dive into a Hedera partnership that could make Hedera an HBAR, the king of Web3 gaming. So if you guys are into Hedera and Algorand and other altcoins and you want to see more of this stuff, please hit the like and subscribe button. Like I always say, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. It works just the same as well. We sort through we don't do FUD or shilling here. We just give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about all the blockchain news on the coins we cover, and we do the experiment so we can see how it goes and let you know, again, the good, bad, and ugly. That's what we do here. So I want to give a quick shout out. It's not an Algorand video, so I just want to do a brief shout out to our sponsors, Non-Fungible Domains and Fractal Monsters. You can find links for both of them in the description below. And let's get to the show today. So first off, really great news with Hedera price. I'm liking the direction it's going. I actually took my first little bit of profits on the way up. Not everyone has to do that. Some people just buy and hold until it's really, really high. I like to take a ladder approach, where as it hits certain price levels, I take a little profit. And so Hedera finally hit one of those price levels recently, touching 12 cents, coming back down a little bit. But let's look at the Hedera chart. Yeah, liking what I'm seeing here. I mean, we were just above. In fact, we can kind of switch to the 7-day, but we were just above 12 cents for a little while there. Come back down a little bit, and you're gonna get these up and down, so you can't worry about it too much. Still, actually, right now down a little bit on the week, which is a little surprising. But we're looking at 33 market cap, and Hedera had found itself into the 20s a few times, kind of popped back up into 33. Volume at number 74 for volume, so that's pretty good too. In the top 100, I can't say the same for Algorand, so kind of happy to see that. Yeah, I took a little profit. We were close to that 12-cent mark, so always good to be able to do that. But I got plenty of HBAR left, and been earning Sauce on my Saucer swap play, and I kind of forgot that I was earning in Sauce. So when I went back to check on it, I'm like, oh cool, I have all this Sauce, and Sauce went kind of crazy. So let's take a look at Sauce. Yeah, here we go. Now on the daily chart, we are up almost 9%, 8.5%, sitting at just under 22 cents. Actually, we were actually over 23 cents at one point earlier in the day, just like Hedera was, and kind of following that same pattern. Market cap at 2,485, still pretty far down at 132.5 million, but hey, for a secondary token, is doing incredible. Yeah, it's up almost 17% on the week. So I like to see that from Sauce. Something about these secondary tokens on Hedera just got something going on that I think Algorand secondary tokens don't. And I tell people to generally stay away from ASAs and Algorand. Just stick with Algorand or stable algo pairs on DeFi, that kind of stuff. Not so sure about Saucer Swap, because it's actually moving a lot, kind of in relation to the market. In fact, I'd say it had a stronger pump this week. It had a stronger week than Hedera, which was pretty interesting. So I don't want to make any definitive statements on it yet, because I don't feel comfortable doing that. But yeah, I think you guys should be paying attention to Sauce and keep track of it. See how it does over time. At some point, we'll probably measure it to Hedera and to other coins just to see how these are doing, and maybe look at some other ones like Karate. We had the big Karate combat event. What was that? Last Friday? Ooh, that was fun. They put on a really good show. Obviously not as polished as the UFC, but I think I kind of like the rules more. So, and that is sponsored by Hedera. They used to have like some kind of technical stuff that happened that was like powered by Hedera. I didn't see that at this last one, but I think that might be because of the location. They looked like they were in a pretty difficult location to set things up. It was like an old Mexican prison, like an abandoned prison or something, I think. So pretty wild. But yeah, let's get to the rest of the news this week, because yeah, Hedera has added another governing council member, which I think is really, really neat. I just added another one not that long ago, but this is a brand new one. Let's see who it is. It was courtesy from Zepsi, but I did see this. This was confirmed by Hedera, so it is legit. It says Goldman Sachs backed Bitgo joins Hedera governing council. Bitgo is an industry-leading custody solution entrusted with securing Valkyrie Funds BTC ETF. Very interesting. Bitgo seeks to collaborate on product developments in real-world assets, settlement, and payment verticals on Hedera. So I think what you're going to see Hedera and Algorand are going to really focus on real world assets, and this kind of stuff is going to be way more important going forward. Here's the official Hedera post. So in case you were wondering if it is official, it is official. That's from the Hedera account. And in case you want to know a little bit about the CEO of Bitgo, Mike is a computer scientist and entrepreneur. He's a co-founder of Bitgo and Lookout Software and ex-Netscape, Microsoft, Google. Ex-Netscape means because they're way in the beginning of the internet, so that means he's kind of an OG in the internet space. He's also the co-inventor of SBDY protocol and one of the principal authors of the HTTP /2.0 specification. So okay, so this guy's like the real deal, man. And they had him on. They actually had him on Thinking Crypto. It's kind of cool. I have a couple friends that were on that show. They haven't sent an invite to me yet, but I'm sure it's forthcoming. That's really great news. Adding more quality governing council members is a good thing. I know some people think they're not, they're still too centralized, but I think it takes some time. It takes some time for these to become decentralized. It doesn't happen overnight. So, it's important to keep track and see how that decentralization plays out over time. And I wanted to talk about this next one. This also comes from Zepsi, so getting a lot of good little scoops here from him. Healthcare data is up to 50 times more valuable than financial data, so he says. Duncan Moore, which is a senior investment manager at Hedera, governing council member Aberdeen, highlighted healthcare data as a killer Web3 app. Hedera Consensus Service is perfect fit for this industry, fueled by HBAR. And this comes from Hedera HBAR Foundation saying, we are excited that the Privacy Fund has expanded its focus in healthcare, now supporting developers building healthcare technologies in the Hedera ecosystem. Interesting, because I saw someone say, why do you need, and they were kind of asking a question. I think they wanted to know why. Oh, this was on the coffee news around Algorand. Algorand has basically operating the supply chains for this coffee company. And they asked, like, well, how does this help? And they actually asked how this helps the end user. And I think it does to an extent, but it's more about being able to keep very good track of where each item is in the supply chain. When you can have a unique identifier, that helps you tremendously to track shipping, because this stuff can be it's a pretty complicated thing. Supply chain management is like a pretty serious industry, and it's a difficult one. And they'll tell you stuff gets lost all the time. And having a system that verifies it on the blockchain, so it's not just like, oh, I got 10 beans over here. Here's these 10 beans and here's where they ended up. And you can see patterns where things are going wrong too. If like something's supposed to take a week and it takes 2 weeks, well, you can follow that specific shipment and find out exactly where it went, where it ended up, what went wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So adding this to the medical service, I think is the healthcare industry is excellent. It's a great idea. It's a great thing. Speaking of investigations, this comes from Tatsuaki, and it has to do with an investigation into the founders of Lehman token, which apparently was a bit of a rug pull in the Hedera space. So Hedera. So when I was talking about watching out for ASAs, like, I don't think this is unique to Algorand. This is one thing about, I don't think Sauce is going away. But here's the thing: if Sauce or Swap as an organization were to go under, what do you think is going to happen to the value of the token? Well, I can tell you it'll crash to the floor, because I've seen that with tokens on Algorand, where the project announces they're closing up shop. Fair enough. I'm not saying that is going to happen with Sauce or Swap, or is even likely to happen, but it is something you have to keep in mind when the underlying token, when the business goes under, the underlying token, well, not going to be worth very much because there's no use for it. So anyway, getting back to this, he said, Hedera community might have seen the parody accounts Zedug, Emma What, and HBAR found what. I've traced their IP addresses to the founders of Lehman token that dumped very heavily and caused financial pain in the HBAR community. This is purely because I did not want to promote their meme token, and I find it very disturbing. And he said, he wrote to them, he said, you are from the Lehman token team, just handed your IP and home address to law enforcement. Good luck. I gotta see, I don't think they agree with this. Okay, Danny Ide has been selected as our new community lead. His first decree to have all of us at Hedera block Zedagafam Mafi blacklist his ideas and check him into a psych ward for a strategic brainstorming session. I said, it's time to see if genius truly borders on madness. So this is really getting beyond what Okay, so then he wrote that about handed their IP address to the latest tactic, empty threats and claiming he's got my IP like we're back in 2010 playing Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox Live. Next, he'll tell me he hacked my toaster. Is there more? Very interesting stuff going on. Needs a spanking. Yeah, he didn't respond to that, so as far as I know, I think it would be included in the thread. Yeah, nothing else too much. So yeah, I don't know if there's too much to that or not. We can check the price of Lehman. Hold on. Oh, I don't really see a huge dump though, but maybe it goes back further. Let's go to the daily chart. Well, there was a pretty big one right about here. I don't know if that's what they're referring to. That doesn't look like, it looks like it could be a dump, but I know it's good to poke around on this stuff a little on your own just to double check things. I don't see, I mean, that does look a little suspicious, but it had a pump up that was just about as strong. So you never know, like, for sure if that's and how long ago was that? It was the 24th. So that's pretty recent. That would have been, what was that, last Friday, last Saturday? Saturday. Okay. So interesting. One last thing here. I thought this was a very interesting announcement. So we're excited to, this is coming from the HBAR Foundation, and they just posted this yesterday. We're excited to announce that we've joined forces with Dropper.io and Neo Tokyo Code, Web3 industry's largest cohort of gaming founders and investors, to further drive AAA GameFi development on Hedera. So I don't know, this is like, seems like a pretty big deal to have this, the Web3 industry's largest cohort of gaming founders and investors. So does that make it bigger than Gala Games? Because Gala Games was pretty big, and the way, great video from Old Man Smithers about Gala Games. It's kind of tough to find. Maybe I'll try to put a link in the description, because I had some trouble finding it on my own. I wanted to watch it on YouTube. I didn't want to watch it in the Twitter thing where I found it first. He really breaks down what went wrong with Gala, and I think it's kind of a good guide for like what not to do for Web3 founders and things you should look out for when you're playing Web3 games. It's a series. It's not finished yet. He's got more videos coming out, but the first video is the intro, and then the first main video is really excellent, and I enjoyed it. I very encourage you to, I'll put the link in the description, because I really encourage you to go watch those videos and watch the further ones that come out too. I like the idea of Web3 gaming, but I think Gala is probably the worst example, or one of the worst examples of like how not to do it, how to do it absolutely wrong. You know, it's like its best, it can be empowering for player ownership, but at its worst, it's like a big cash grab. And I think that's what Gala really was. So let's see. Friends, that is it for me this week. I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, don't forget the like and subscribe button. Otherwise, stay safe out there. Keep enjoying these gains. I think they're going to be coming fast and furious. Remember, we're not even at the halving yet, so we got a lot of ways to go. Somewhere between 5 and 10 months is where we'll see probably a peak for a lot of this stuff. And considering where Bitcoin is at right now, even before the halving, and where a lot of other coins are, I think a lot of us are going to be in pretty good shape. So just hold on, and take some profits on the way up if you care to. I sure will be. And stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the future.